Thank you. Good afternoon. It's good to be here. My name is Stefan Gross-Selbeck. I'm the CEO of Xing, and I'm happy to present my company to you. Those of you who are from Germany and Europe certainly know the company, and I'm most likely an active member of it, because who are we? We are the leading social network for professionals in German-speaking Europe. With about 10.5 million members, about half of those from that region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. And we fundamentally provide those basic services which professional social networks provide. It all starts with a digital identity, your personal profile, the place on the web where you present yourself in a professional way, in a professional space. We offer core networking functionalities, an address book, an intelligent address book, which enables you to manage your existing relationships, but also reach out to people you do not know yet in an intelligent way, reach out to people you do not know yet and build a relationship with them. And then on top of that, we have a number of tools for corporates, which I'll talk about more in a second. These are so-called verticals, which sit on our network, which create values for companies, and obviously that's an important way for us to monetize the business. As I said, we're with a strong regional focus. We're a clear number one in our core geographies, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, by any measure you can look at. Strong number one in terms of members, and strong number one in terms of new members, or in terms of growth, but also particularly in terms of activity, with a very high, compared with other professional networks, level of activity. In our core geography, about 80% of total activity in that space comes from our platform. We have a certain number of programs in place which ensure that we are very deeply rooted with our local community. For example, we have a network of what we call ambassadors. These are people who are not employed by us, not paid by us, but who are ambassadors of ours, which means they've been selected by us, and they represent our company, our brand in a certain geography. Every major city in our region has such a Xing ambassador. These are people who organize local events, who organize a local group, and who present our company locally and make sure we have a very strong and active local community in each of those places where we have a presence. In terms of business model, the model we have is quite unique. We're generating the majority of our revenues, about 70%, from a subscription base. We're selling paid memberships to our customers. The most important membership being what we call a premium subscription, premium membership, which gives people access to the full functionality of the site for a fee of between €5.95 and €7.95 per month. The key features they get access to if they pay is an advanced search functionality, the ability to directly address people on the platform even though they're outside their network, and then most importantly a feature which is called visitors to my profile. That's a very important feature to our customers. What it does is if you do a search for a particular person and then you click on that person's profile, then that person is being given the information that it was you who clicked on that profile, but also how you found that particular person. For example, by giving you the information about the search term which that person used in order to find you. And that's an important information because it drives leads, it enables business, and also, frankly, it's a bit of a vanity feature. People just like to see who clicked on their profile. We have about 790,000 paying customers in our core geography. That's a fairly high payer ratio of 14%, and that again is 70% of our revenues as of today. On top of that, we have currently 3 what we call verticals. Now, what's a vertical? A vertical is a service which sits on our social network and creates value for the companies using that vertical, but also contributes to the value of the network. And fundamentally, what a vertical does is it makes an intransparent market a bit more transparent by means of a social network. And the recruiting vertical is the most obvious and most simple example. The recruiting market is very, very intransparent. It's it's almost impossible for anyone to understand which job opportunities are out there right now for you at any given point in time. and a social network can help make this very intransparent market a bit more transparent. For example, by taking a job ad, which we sell to companies, take it and match it to the profiles of our people, therefore giving the companies access to a very interesting target group, which is latent job seekers, so people who are actually not actively looking for a job, but may potentially be interested in a job, and at the same time providing people with opportunities for new jobs they wouldn't find otherwise. To share some of our financials with you, we're a public company, so it's all very transparent. We made about a little over 66 million euros in revenues in 2011 with a 22 million EBITDA. That was a growth of 23% of the top line compared with the previous year. And these are our Q1 numbers for 2012, so 17.7 million in revenues at an EBITDA of 4.8 million. So that's an EBITDA margin of roughly 30%. It was a bit over 30% last year. It's a bit below 30% because of investments we're making this year. So a nicely profitable business. The part of the business which is growing fastest is these verticals. As I mentioned before, in recruiting, we generated 3.5 million revenues in the first quarter. That's up 28% from the previous year. Advertising was 1.2 million, and then the latest, advertising was 1.2 million, yes, and then the latest vertical which we added is our events vertical. We acquired a company called Amiando, which is a ticketing and payment service provider. That's an important addition to our business because it's been part of the DNA of our platform from the start. To bring together people who have not met before, bring them together physically, and so it's an important part of important activity for our community members to promote and organize events using our platform. There are about 150,000 events were organized through our platform last year. Many of those were free, but many also paid for. And so in order to enable our customers to manage the process of ticketing and billing in a more efficient way, we acquired a company last year, integrated into the site, and in that way built a new vertical. Now, being a local player, why do we think we have great prospects for growth? Well, the reason is if you compare the penetration in Germany, Austria, Switzerland of our particular service of professional social networking with the penetration which other companies, particularly LinkedIn, has, for example, in markets like the US, you see pretty significant differences. With our number of members right now, given the 100 million people population in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, we're currently at a penetration of a little over 5%. If you compare that with other companies in other markets, that's 2 to 3x of the penetration we currently have. So clearly we believe that even in our core geographies, in our core business, we have significant room left for growth, to grow the member base and based on that conversion, but also grow our vertical businesses. Particularly recruiting is a big opportunity for us with the demographic shifts going on, particularly in Europe, with the war for talent. HR companies are going through an important phase of change, where they're moving from a more passive approach for recruiting, which means you put up an ad and wait for CVs to come in, from a more passive approach to a more active approach, where they actively reach out and use tools to reach out to their potential employees, search for them actively and address them. And social networks like ours provide the best possible tool to do exactly that, to present yourself as an attractive employer, make a specific search for candidates which are interesting for you, and address them in a professional and effective way. So that's our business model going forward, continuing to build our member base, on that basis grow convert them to paying customers and grow our subscription business, and also grow the existing verticals we have, as well as build additional verticals going forward. And with that, we're positive we can be a 100 million euro plus business over the next few years with a very interesting EBITDA margin of roughly 30%. That's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them either now or later on. Thank you.